From the book of Isaiah, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat, yea, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear, and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live, and I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Let me give you another one. From 2 Timothy. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, coveters, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. Keep these scriptures in mind as I go through this movie review. Before we begin, if you want to see music bios or more good videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Also, I've started a Patreon account. On here you get more copyrighted material, and they'll be uploaded 48 hours prior to YouTube. If you want to support or visit, link is in the description. And without further ado, on to our feature presentation. Angie King is the daughter of Pastor Bishop King, or just Bishop King. All she knows is the church, nothing more, nothing less, but she has a God-gifted voice. After service, she and her friend tries to get permission to go to the movies, but Bishop reminds her of all the church-related events they have planned. She tells him that she needs a break from the church, but it comes off as, you need a break from God.
I need a break. And you get one. At the church retreat. 3 days of prayer, relaxation, and fellowship with God.
That's who I need a break from. Never mind.
Safe to say, Angie is extremely sheltered, especially after the death of her mother. Keyboard player named Winton discovers a play called Daddy Can I Come Home, which is a gospel play. He offers Angie on a date, but she turns it down as it's just another chitlin show. One night, Angie sneaks out and go clubbing. At the club, they spot Devlin Mitchell, who is a famous R&B singer. He's part of that play Winton was talking about, and they score free tickets. Some kind of play is turning into a Tank concert, and not long after, his shirt is off. Now let me break the fourth wall for a bit, and for someone who's seen Tank a couple months ago, I could confirm this. But back to the movie. Winton asked the bishop if he could date Angie, but the bishop shuts him down. Angie wants to join the play as it's the perfect opportunity for her to get discovered. Devlin invites them to dinner, and where Angie tells him that she wants to join the show. So she sings for him and Ike, the head of the play, and he's played by that dude who's in every single Black Hood or Black low-budget movie.
I'll take good care of your heart. Good care of your heart.
He takes her to his room and offers her a spot in the play. But the next day, Bishop discovers that Angie was out last night and grounds her. She tells him that she's going on the road to join the play. He forbids her and she smacks him in the face. He tells her, once you leave, don't come back. You see this face? He's low-key devastated about his decision. Angie then encounters Ike and he tells her that she's part of the group as long as she doesn't tick him off. But Ike also tells her to be cautious of Devlin. We then meet Pitches, and why is Essence trying to pull this southern accent? But anyway, she becomes the second person to give Angie a warning that these men may sing about God, but they aren't very Christian-like. They sit in on one rehearsal, and Angie is encountered by a very harsh director.
My name is Angie.
How about stupid? Now hit your mark.
I'd rather you not call me out of my name.
You fired too.
Devlin encounters the director and tells him to knock it off. After this, Devlin asks Angie if she'll ever say no to him. She gives a very naive answer. Back home, Winton is preparing for a choir competition in New York and tries to get a singer to replace Angie. Meanwhile, Angie and Devlin are getting hot and steamy. Once again, she encounters Ike, and once again, he warns her about Devlin. Back home, Sister Watkins, played by that cop who tried to get Stoney and the gang arrested, gives Bishop advice on not to be too hard on Angie, and she's old enough for her to make her own mistakes. Angie then catches Devlin rolling up a joint and tells him that only losers do that stuff, only for her to get the D. Barnes treatment. Devlin took out his frustration on his failed demo and getting dropped by his label. And to no disrespect to Tank, it was an honor meeting you this year, but he was trying to go for an Academy Award in this scene.
To make them all that money, just drop me.
He then promised Angie that the next record label he signs, she'll tag along. During breakfast, we find out Devlin's intentions with Angie, and that's to make her mentally unstable. Angie finds out about his game and once again calls him a loser. He then pulls the F around and find out on her.
What you gonna do?
You wanna find out? Huh?
After this, she calls her father to no avail. Peaches then talks to Angie and finds out she lost her virginity to Devlin, and then drops this bomb.
Tell me you did not lose your virginity to that dog.
He might be a dog, but he's my dog.
Strays don't belong to nobody.
She then becomes face to face with Desiree, basically tearing her down. She then naively comes crawling back to Devlin. Over time, he still abuses Angie and tells her that the record deal is still lined up for him and her. Winton and Maya decide to drive to the 704 to surprise Angie, but before they get there, in Texas, we meet Monty, who is a longtime friend of Angie. Devlin spots this and gets jealous and once again clocks her in the face. Now in the 704, the pair runs into Angie and Winton notices Angie's face. Angie dismisses this and orders them to go. Winton sneaks backstage and gets into a fight with Devlin. On the bus, Desiree has an asthma attack, and thanks to Angie's quick thinking, she uses a honey and napkin to save her. Back home, Bishop too has an asthma attack, and thanks to Sister Watkins, she finds his inhaler. She also tells him that Angie isn't the only one that could look out for him. Desiree thanks Angie for her stunt and apologizes to her. She finally takes her under her wing as an official understudy. As their bond rise, hers and Devlin's fall apart. Meanwhile, Bishop and Sister Watkins' relationship starts to blossom, and he gets a funny feeling from God that Angie is coming home. But with Angie, she finds out she's pregnant and is devastated. They finally arrive to New York. She tells everyone her dream, and the only one that listens was Biscuit, the bus driver, who's also in the play. We also find out Desiree's contract is expiring, and she tells Ike that Angie is ready for the lead role. But Ike tells her that an En Vogue member, assumingly Dom because she does these plays one time in the past, is interested in that spot when that time comes. Angie becomes frustrated that she's getting looked over. She tells them that they're all unprofessional and is fired from the play. Devlin then meets with the record company, and instead of taking Angie, he takes Desiree. At the meeting, they aren't interested in Devlin as he has bad sales and too much baggage overall, but they are interested in Desiree and accepts a managerial fee. Angie barges into the meeting and finds out she has been played by Devlin. We then get a monologue on how Devlin became the first man who lied to her. She then drops the pregnancy test on him and leaves. After seeing this unprofessionalism, the deal fails. Angie then learns about the gospel showcase at the Apollo and heads for that direction. She then reunites with Winton for a duet.
Now you can see it. Oh, now we can...
Afterwards, they kiss and share their true feelings with each other. Peaches then tracks down Angie, and through the orders of Ike, to fill in for Desiree. She sings the song, and it finally hits her that she was living the play all along, and storms out. Outside, she runs into Devlin, and he apologizes and tells her that he has been saved. He tries to get Angie back, but she finally shoots him down. During a dedication speech, Bishop spots his daughter as she finally comes home. Some months pass. Bishop marries Sister Watkins, Winston and Angie are an item. Oh, and that pregnancy test, it was just a false positive. Let's just say that testimony is going to be fire. Yes, I discovered this movie while I was doing my preparations of my LeToya Luckett video. I became intrigued by this movie, but I do have some thoughts. I'm going to start off with Bishop. He's definitely clingy with his daughter, and I get it. It was rough when the matriarch of the family had passed, but he held on to his daughter too long. She has to grow and learn to make mistakes. Next, I briefly want to talk about Peaches, because Essence, you're not fooling us with that fake southern accent. You're from Brooklyn. But of all the people who worked on that play, she was the only one that sincerely cared about Angie. And now there's the Devlin. I see what the writers tried to do with his name. It's a spin on the devil, but they made him out as the devil in disguise. Once he got bored with Angie, he takes out his frustrations out on her. Absolutely no excuse for that. He's also a good liar, like the devil, that took advantage of the naive soul of Angie. And speaking of Angie, let's talk about her next. And I've said the word naive a lot in this review, but that is the word of the day here. To be fair, thanks to her church upbringing, she wasn't familiar with the outside world, and it didn't take long for her to fall into their traps. And this film is a perfect example of don't go chasing waterfalls, with the waterfall being Devlin. Stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to, and that's an example of being home. The film itself is fine. These type of movies aren't mostly for me, but I could safely recommend this. So if you haven't watched this film, go ahead and check it out. And that concludes the Preacher's Kid recap. Tell me what y'all think in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.